Hi students, today is the session of getting to know plants. Students, we know that whenever we go outside, we observe all the plants around us. So, we see that some plants are small, some are very big, while some are just patches of green on the soil. Some have green leaves, while some others have reddish ones. Some have huge red flowers, and some have tiny blue ones, while some have none of them. So, we do see a variety of plants existing all around us, near our homes, in the school ground, on the way to the school, in the parks and gardens, isn't it? So, let us get to know different parts of a plant, and this will help us understand the differences between the plants of different kinds. So, I welcome you to Learner's Planet, and this is session 1 of Getting to Know Plants. So, let us start with our introductory slide. Yes, Introduction to Plants. Students, we know that plants are alive, just like human beings and animals. They grow and die. They need energy, nutrients, air, and water. They are made up of cells. Even they respond to different environmental factors, and they produce plants of their own kind. So, plants are considered to be living things. But have you ever thought that where do plants come from? Yes, plants come from seeds. Each seed contains a tiny plant which is waiting for the right conditions to germinate or start to grow. But what do seeds need to start to grow? Yes, seeds germinate until 3 needs are met: water, correct temperature means warmth, and a good location, that is, a soil. We cannot say a location, but we can say the type of soil. So, during its early stages of growth, the seedling relies upon the food supplies which are stored with it in the seed until it is large enough for its own leaves to begin making food through the process of photosynthesis. So, the seedling's roots push down into the soil to anchor the new plant and to absorb water and minerals or the nutrients from the soil, and its stem with new leaves pushes up towards the light. So the germination stage ends when a shoot emerges from the soil, but the plant is not done growing. It has just started. So plants need water, warmth, nutrients from the soil, and light to continue to grow. So, what we can say about these plants? Yes, they are very important for human beings as well as for animals. So, we see different types of plants around us, and they are of different colors, shapes, and sizes. So based on these characters, most plants are classified into these categories, like herbs, shrubs, trees, creepers, and climbers. So what are they? Herbs, shrubs, trees, creepers, and climbers. Yes, we know that they are of different colors, shapes, and sizes. So have you ever observed such type of plants which are small, such type of plants which are big? Have you? Okay, if you haven't, then we will discuss about it. So first of all, we will study about all these plants, means based on the characteristics of their colors, their shapes and sizes, they are classified into these categories. So let us start with the first category. Yes, herbs. Students, herbs are small sized plants with soft stems. Always remember this, that they are small sized plants with soft stems, like tomato, aloe vera, wheat, etc. These are examples of herbs. So what we can say about herbs? Yes, these are the plants with green color, or we can say that they are of different color also, and they have tender stems, and that is why we call it as herbs. They are usually short and may not have many branches. So these are herbs. What is the second category? Yes, shrubs. So what are shrubs? Students, they are medium-sized plants with hard woody stems. What are they? They are medium-sized plants with hard woody stems. So there are some examples like lemon, and this is a picture of rose plant. So cotton, lemon and rose, even there are other plants also. So these are examples of shrubs. So these are the plants that have the stem which branches out near the base, and the stem is hard but not very thick. So such plants are called shrubs. Yes, the third category is trees. So you can see here some of the beautiful pictures. How can we define trees? Yes, students, we discussed that herbs are small sized plants, while shrubs are medium sized plants. And your trees, they are tall plants. And what about their stem? Yes, they are tall plants that have a thick main stem, which is called the trunk. So this thick main stem is called the trunk. This one. Yes, so these are considered as trees, like banyan and pine or apple. So these trees are the examples of, or we can say that these are examples of trees. Right? So there are some plants which are very tall and have hard and thick brown stem. So these stems have branches in the upper part which are much above the ground. And such plants are called trees. So based on these categories, we can now correctly classify the plants. Right? So let us see the other categories or classes of plants? Yes, creepers. So what are creepers? Yes, they are plants with very weak stems. Creepers grow along the ground, like this strawberry plant, that is a creeper. Cucumber plant is a creeper. Pumpkin plant is a creeper, and grass, this is also a creeper. So plants with weak stems that cannot stand upright and spread on the ground are called creepers. What about the other category? Yes, besides herbs, shrubs, trees, creepers and creepers, there is one more category of plants called climbers. So what are climbers? Yes, climbers also have very weak stems, but they attach themselves to supports such as walls, sticks and other plants. Like this is a picture of orange vine, and this is a picture of grapevine. So these are examples of climbers. So those plants that take support on the neighboring structures, or they attach themselves to supports and climb up, are called climbers. So these creepers and climbers are different from the herbs, shrubs and trees. So that was all about the categories of the plants. Now let us discuss about the parts of a typical plant. Yes, parts of a typical plant. We know that there are many parts of a plant, like the roots, stem, leaves, fruit, flower. So the roots of a plant are very important. Even other parts of the plant are very important, but the roots are very much important because they keep the plant anchored to the ground and they obtain nutrients and water from the soil. So we can say that these are the roots that store food. The roots also store food for the plant, and the flowering plant stems, leaves and flowers make up the plant shoot system. So we know that roots of a plant are very important. Even the stems, leaves, flowers besides these roots also are very important. So roots make up the root system and shoots make up the shoot system. So now let us see the diagrammatic representation of a typical plant. Yes, these are the parts of a typical plant. Like you can see here, this is the shoot, this is the root. So there are nutrients and water which are absorbed through tiny root hairs. Here what you can see, these are the root hairs. So these tiny root hairs also play a very important role in transportation. Means they absorb nutrients and water from the soil that extend from the root system. And all roots, however, do not originate underground. Some plants have roots that originate above the ground from stems or leaves. So these roots provide support for the stems. While in shoot system, there are stems, leaves and flowers. So plant stems provide support for the plant and allow nutrients and water to travel throughout the plant. Within the stem and throughout the plant are tube-like tissues which transport water and minerals from the soil to different parts of the plant. So these tissues carry water, food and nutrients to all parts of the plant. Even the leaves, they are the sites of food production for the plant. It is here that the plant acquires light energy and carbon dioxide for photosynthesis and releases oxygen into the air. So leaves can have various shapes and forms, but they all basically consist of the parts of leaves, which we will discuss in the coming sessions. So there is another component of the shoot system of a plant, and that is the flower. The flower is responsible for seed development and reproduction, and there are main flower parts like sepals, petals, stamens and carpels. So we can see that plants are living organisms such as trees, herbs, bushes, grasses, vines, ferns, green algae, mosses, and they all provide us with food materials. They also provide us with wood and also convert carbon monoxide, a poisonous gas, or carbon dioxide into life-giving oxygen. They are composed of many parts such as roots, stem, leaves, buds, flowers, fruits, etc. So what we can say about all these parts of a typical plant? Yes, they all are very important. Like roots, they originate from the lower portion of a plant and they are in the soil. And their functions are to absorb nutrients and water. And they anchor the plant in the soil. They support the stem. They store the food such as carrots. And in some plants, they can be used for propagation. While the stem is the upper part of the plant and bears branches, leaves, flowers and fruits. Stem is generally green when young and later often becomes woody and dark brown in color. It conducts water and minerals from the root to the leaves. There are some stems which perform the function of storage of food like potato, turmeric, ginger, etc. Even there is a bud. Bud means it is an undeveloped shoot from which leaves or flower parts grow. So enlarged buds or parts of buds, 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 also form the edible portion of some crops, for example cabbage. So buds are also a very important part of a typical plant. Then comes leaves. We discussed about it that leaves provide trees with all their food because they turn the sunlight into food energy, or we can say that they use sunlight and they make their food through photosynthesis. So leaves also make or release the oxygen in the air that we breathe. Next comes the flowers. Flowers generally are the attractive part of a plant. Their beauty and fragrance attract pollinators like insects or birds that play an important role in the reproduction. And lastly but not the least one comes the fruit. Fruit is the fleshy structure of certain plants that may be sweet and edible in the raw state, such as apples, oranges, grapes, etc. This one which we are discussing about is a tomato plant. So it consists of seeds which are useful for the propagation of plant, for the reproduction of plant. The seeds contain food which supplies energy and materials for growth until the plant grows its first leaves above the ground. So this is all about the different types of plants that we see around us and the parts of a typical plant. So I hope that you enjoyed today's session learning about plants. In the next session, we will discuss more about these plants and their importance. So see you in the next session. Keep learning. Thank you.